Today on the list, plant-based pizzas that are full of flavor, a charity that's building big smiles, and why rest is so important to exercise.
If you aren't prioritized recovering, then you're just gonna feel worse and worse.
Plus, how dancing can improve your mental health.
When it resonates through your body, it just seeps into your emotional state.
But up first, discover the secret to true happiness. It's your life, it's your list, and it starts right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Guerrero.
And I'm Jimmy Rhodes. A lot of people have different goals, but for most of us, being happy is a pretty big one.
I would say so. It turns out though, maybe you should rethink that plan and change it to the search for satisfaction.
Well, a psychotherapist is telling us how to make satisfaction your focus and how that shift can change your life. And that's our featured story at the top of the list.
It seems like everywhere you look, people are happy. And if you're not, you might feel alone.
A lot of my clients came to me telling me that they were frustrated because they felt like they were failures at being happy.
Dr. Jennifer Gutman is author of the Audible series Beyond Happiness, The 6 Secrets of Lifetime Satisfaction. She says instead of happiness, you should strive for satisfaction. You don't need to be exuberantly happy that often. She says simply being content is good enough.
Way back to early philosophers, everybody is talking about the fact that satisfaction is what is sustainable and joy or happiness is fleeting.
So if our goal is lifetime satisfaction, here are a few of her suggestions on how to achieve that. One step is to avoid assumptions.
We make assumptions about what other people think or feel because we're trying to proactively solve a problem that hasn't even happened yet.
In her opinion, we're mostly wrong when we assume what others think and feel.
They send us into thought spirals and negatively influence social interactions, which is a problem.
So here's what you should do instead.
Imagine that you have a jury of your peers sitting in front of you, and can you convince them with the evidence that you have that your assumption is true?
And if you can't,
then you need to sit with the frustration that you feel and have patience and wait to see if anything actually does happen. Most of the time, it won't.
Her next tip, reduce people-pleasing behavior.
People-pleasing starts when we're children and we're looking to our caregivers for reinforcement.
Her theory is that we still look for that approval from others as adults.
When it's not forthcoming, what happens is we put ourselves last in order to try to get reassurance, and that is how we become people pleasers.
She says practice saying no and set good boundaries.
It's a good idea to make sure that you're as kind to yourself as you are to everybody else. And a lot of times we're not. We put everybody else's needs ahead of our own.
Finally, learn active self-reinforcement. In other words, reward yourself.
It's important that we reinforce ourselves for a job well done. It creates a positive feedback loop.
For example,
maybe if you achieve a goal, you reinforce yourself with a cup of hot chocolate or a movie or making a fire for yourself and sitting by it.
Don't rely on others to tell you good job. Just do it for yourself.
All of those things are ways that you say to yourself, I earned this reward and I don't need to sit around and wait for somebody else to notice.
To sum it up, don't make assumptions, stop people-pleasing, and reward yourself. Ways to make your life more satisfying are at the top of the list.
Flamenco is a beautiful, soulful, emotional dance, and if you can just learn some of the basics, you can reap the benefits that are also great for your mind. We are looking at some flamenco moves that will give you a boost in more ways than one.
Flamenco is known for its physicality, but along with fancy footwork, it turns out it can also benefit your brain.
When it resonates through your body, it just seeps into your emotional state.
Coco Cabral, the Flamenco Fit MD, shares 3 moves to power up your body and mind so you can be your best self. Starting with a move that can help with confidence, Bullfighter Brave Cape Slices.
We're going to take one pinky toe and stretch it out to the side so we've got our heel up a little bit and then bend into that other knee.
Then take the opposite arm and extend that in front.
What I'm going to do is drape this shawl over your arm and you're going to pretend it's a bullfighter cape.
Pull your belly button in and twist away from the extended leg and slice.
Slice away from that extended leg and slice towards the extended leg.
This move works the deltoids and traps as well as your core. The swagger helps your self-assurance.
Really put that visualization of slicing. Yeah.
Cutting through the trauma.
Yes, exactly.
The bad day.
Right.
The bad energy.
Repeat this on both sides 10 to 15 times daily. Next, Secret Warrior Spear Training.
We'll have our feet together. We're going to be nice and tall, and we'll take our arms and put them in a Y shape. And now pretend like you're holding a spear.
Then take one heel and plant it in front and bend the knee.
And then we're going to take this and turn it into a toe and then bend the knee again. So you've got to lock in that core so we can balance this heel toe.
This is core work, but also gets the heart rate up. Do this on both sides 6 to 10 times daily.
By building physical stamina, we start to believe in ourselves.
Finally, Coco says if you need to feel more in control, try your functional shield.
Let's take our arms again and we'll sweep them out to the side, come up overhead, and now grab something that you want.
Now pull it in towards yourself and stack your fists and elbows on top of each other.
So we're working the arms and the muscles of the upper back to develop strength, right? Flexibility, conditioning in the muscles. We grab something for ourselves, right? We take ownership of it. And then we hold it in our personal space and protect it, but at the same time, we're still able to communicate and function.
Do this 5 to 10 times daily. Strengthening your mind and body, flamenco style.
Now, the world's top athletes know the critical importance of nutrition before, during, and after working out for competing. But their secrets can also help the rest of us. Hadi Jamal has pro tips to help everyday athletes achieve peak performance.
Elite athletes require a world-class level of prep to be competitive. But for those of us who are everyday athletes,
that really still takes it seriously, but you have all the other commitments, then, you have to be smart and use what pros kind of know and learn and do to be more efficient with that.
Holly Lawrence, 2016 World Ironman champion, spins up tips on how to perform at your peak every day, no matter the sport. For starters, failing to prep is prepping to fail.
Time management. It's not just like the time that goes in for a session. It's maybe driving to wherever you're going, your warm up, the time in between.
Just like every sport or activity has different physical requirements, each person has things that help them perform their best.
Generally, you do know what your strengths and weaknesses are, primarily like endurance, volume.
She says fitness trackers and online planners can help create a framework to help you reach your peak.
I use today's plan, but there's Training Peaks, and I know even on all of those platforms you can buy like a set basic training plan for an event.
Next, time to fuel and hydrate.
It's not just like sport, it's breaking it down to like intensity and duration. Nutrition, knowing how many calories, how many carbs, how much electrolytes per hour that you need to be taking.
A long run or bike ride is different than playing a ball sport.
If you're only playing tennis for an hour, are you having to take in a bunch of carbs? Probably not, but electrolytes will be super important.
She says what you meal prep should be based on the type of activity you'll be doing.
If I've got a run session coming up, whether it's 2 hours before a race, it's 3 hours before, I have my set meal that I know I tolerate really well, it fuels me up and enough carbs to get me through.
And of course we know that water is key, but
if you're just drinking water and not electrolytes, then you're just flushing your electrolytes out. It's a good habit just to get into, to regularly kind of drip feed electrolytes throughout the day.
Finally, take time to recover.
If you aren't prioritized recovering, then you're just gonna feel worse and worse.
She uses leg compression sleeves from Normatec or Air Relax to flush toxins out of her legs while sipping on a recovery drink, followed by stretching and plenty of sleep.
That, for me, is like a non-negotiable.
Pro tips to put you at the top of your game.
Still to come on the list. Why you should toss a plant-based pizza into your oven.
I never thought I would say this, but I really don't miss the pepperoni right now.
Plus, how these job applicants got a brand new look.
Thanks for coming, you sharp-dressed man, you.
And
She scares me.
why parenthood is perfect for a psychological thriller.
It's a very vulnerable thing to have a kid.
All that and more ahead on the list.
YouTube, yes, I know you're right in the middle of watching this show, but I just wanted to pop in right quick and say, please subscribe and please turn on notifications. Here's the upside. You're never gonna miss a minute of the list. Now, I don't want you to miss this show, so let's head back to it. Welcome back. And high on the list of reasons people don't want to go vegan is they can't imagine a life without pizza.
Is it even worth living at that point? But guys, it turns out there are some beautiful and delicious vegan pizzas that are going to answer that craving.
Jackie Denker's showing us how to make plant-based pies.
Vegans rejoice because
today we're gonna focus on vegan pizzas. You don't really gonna miss the meat component.
I'm not gonna miss the meat component?
I promise you.
Okay, that's a big promise.
So to show us how it's done, we turned to chef and co-owner of Humble Bistro in Gilbert, Arizona, Jorge Gomez. Up first, the Calabrian sweet potato pizza. Starting with vegan dough, you can make from scratch or grab at a store.
So the sauce that we're gonna use for this pizza, it has Calabrian chilies, so we call it Calabrian sauce. It's gonna bring a spiciness, but also it's gonna bring a lot of freshness to it.
Now it's time for vegan cheese, which doesn't melt as easy as regular cheese, so
you're gonna need a more generous amount of this cheese for your pizza to cover your space.
More cheese, never hurt nobody.
Sweet potatoes, but also they're purple.
Then some caramelized onions.
This looks so colorful.
A little pinch of chili flakes.
A pinch of salt.
Once cooked, brush crust with garlic oil. On goes dollops of vegan pesto and lemon zest.
It's an extra layer of flavor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I never thought I would say this, but I really don't miss the pepperoni right now.
Next, the garden party pizza. Once you prep the dough, on goes olive oil acting as the sauce and vegan cheese.
Kind of almost all the way till you crush, so you can have those little cheese bites at the end, right?
Yeah, that's the best.
I know.
Then some artichokes.
Put some of the red peppers in there.
So beautiful.
That's the key. We always eat with our eyes first.
Yeah.
Red onions for sweetness and wild mushrooms.
This is our garlic confit,
which means it's slowly cooked in olive oil.
And when you taste your garlic, it's sweet.
And to top it off, brush crust with garlic oil, sprinkle with basil,
lemon zest. This is our secret weapon.
Of course, some salt, and voila.
Wow, that's incredible.
And no sauce.
Our final vegan pie is the truffle and wild pizza.
We're gonna use our garlic oil base.
Generously pour on your vegan cheese.
These are wild mushrooms. We cook it in olive oil, and we put a little bit of red pepper just for color too.
Then some leeks.
Leeks is kind of like an onion.
Spray some truffle oil.
More than anything, it's gonna give another layer of flavor and aroma. There we go. Parsley.
More truffle oil and enjoy.
Wow. That is to die for.
For the full recipes, head to our Facebook page, The List Show TV. Having fun by making vegan pizzas at home.
It is still a fresh year, and we want to fill it with more good vibes. So these positive stories are going to do that for you and remind you kindness wins. At number 1 is an organization delivering the joy of Lego sets to hospitalized children all across the U.S.
Our motto is we build big smiles, and those smiles can be on any child that needs long-term hospital care.
Little Bricks Charity is run by Russell Cassava, a 3-time Guinness World Record holder for walking barefoot on Legos. Yeah, his passion for Legos inspired his charity, which is going into its 3rd year and has already distributed $100,000 worth of Lego sets.
Race cars, nice. Every single one of these packages I know is another smile on a hospitalized kid. That is what keeps me going.
So cool. And you can learn more about them at littlebrickscharity.org. Up next, we head to Highlander Way Middle School in Michigan, where a robotics team is on a mission to get young kids excited about STEM.
These kids are learning how to be part of a team, how to work through problems as a team.
Love the engineering that goes into it and the friends it helps you make.
The group is called CRASH, which stands for Kids, Robotics, and Science of Howell. And aside from doing learning of their own, they've also started distributing free STEM kits geared toward elementary school students.
Each kit contains simple materials to create the STEM kit, and it helps you learn more about that. We want to let people know about robotics and all the career fields it can help you in.
Making learning fun is always a great idea. I do love that. And finally, a Maryland-based organization that helps men get back on their feet and helps them do so in style.
I feel like a new man. We recycle suits to dress guys for job interviews, people that are trying to get back up on their feet.
For the past decade, Sharp Dressed Man has provided free suits for those who may not be able to afford them.
Primarily men that are returning to the workforce from incarceration. They're in reentry programs.
It might be one of the most important things for a job interview is what you wear when you go in there.
Thanks for coming, you sharp-dressed man, you.
The organization runs on donations, and if you'd like to support their cause, visit sharpdressedman.org. And those are 3 stories that show kindness wins. Lots more to come. Stay with us.
We are back, and on today's watch list, M. Night Shyamalan is the filmmaker responsible for hits like The Sixth Sense, Split, and Signs. And now he's taken his talents to TV for the Apple TV Plus series, Servant. Teresa Strasser spoke with him and the cast to learn more.
A toast to motherhood.
The Apple TV Plus series Servant is about parents who hire a nanny, but considering it's executive produced by M. Night Shyamalan, you can assume things are not what they seem.
I guess we should talk about this.
We spoke with the award-winning showrunner and 3 of the stars about the psychological thriller, and don't worry, they didn't spoil the ending.
I'll text it to you, and then that you just... No, I'm not gonna text it to you.
First, they explain why a nanny makes for such thrilling TV.
I didn't have a psychopathic nanny. First of all, let me just start there.
Do you know who you welcomed into your home?
It's a very vulnerable thing to have a kid.
It's terrifying, that's why. The idea of bringing someone into your house in this intimate way at the most intimate time to give them responsibility of the only thing that matters to you in your life, it is fraught, that relationship.
I was expecting someone older, less weird.
And if that person was not stable, whoa, that's like a nightmare situation. And so tapping into that is kind of at the basis of all of this.
You're letting a stranger in your house and they use your knives. It's a nightmare.
She scares me.
But Servant is far from a typical thriller.
There's moments of exploring really dark subjects, and then we have moments of incredible comedy.
What I want for Servant is to be hard to define. You don't know whether to laugh, whether to scream. Is this a farce or is this a tragedy? There is no show like it, period.
If she wins, the city will fall, and that's only the beginning.
And as the 4th and final season kicks off, they discussed the ending.
Hopefully, as you watch these last episodes and you're seeing the seasons and you look back on it, you go, wow, this was inevitable. You spent 4 years. You could almost tell that from the first frames, this is the scene that we were going to get to.
I think that everything's happening the way that it's supposed to.
Hopefully people will walk away feeling like they are full to the brim with answers, so devastated that the show is over that they're going to be so upset and everyone will love us forever until we die.
Ditto. I feel the same.
What the hell happens now? The end.
We're putting Servant on your watch list.
I know they're coming for me. I'll be ready.
And if you want more, you can see our entire interview with M. Night Shyamalan by checking out the guest list on our YouTube channel, The List Show TV.
Ooh, that looks gripping and, of course, mysterious.
Well, M. Night Shyamalan is certainly known for stories that incorporate elements of the supernatural powers.
Yeah, that is true. Well, here's a supernatural power for you. The handwritten thank you note. I mean, it could save the world. Okay, maybe I oversold it, but it could make a huge difference. Last on our list is next. Hey guys, welcome back. It is time for what's last on our list. Okay, true story. Last week, I pulled out a box of thank you cards to write a handwritten thank you note.
Okay, I'm not really sure what I've done recently to deserve a thank you note and what I would presume is the accompanying gift, but I'll keep an eye out.
Jimmy, with you, it's usually more like a sarcastic thanks a lot. But looky here, from the New York Times, do thank you notes still matter? In this digital age, a handwritten note may seem like a relic, but etiquette experts say they can be more powerful than ever.
All right, confession time. I write many, many, many thank you emails, but I don't know if it has the same impact.
Yeah, well, according to an etiquette expert, it does not. Yes, an email is a nice gesture, but they say a handwritten thank you note is an act of thoughtfulness that makes our society a better place by encouraging a spirit of generosity and appreciation.
Okay, well, this makes sense, especially these days when everything's already digital and physical mail is either bills or the penny saver or those things that say your name or current resident.
Right, exactly, very personalized. So if you're inspired to do more thank you notes this year, they recommend a no excuses box, right? Filled with thank you notes, envelopes, a pen, and stamps, so it's just ready to go.
Okay, that's a great idea. Thanks for that.
No, thank you.
Well, no, thank you for thanking me.
Okay, we are now caught in a thank you vortex.
Well, let me turn it this way. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to like this video, leave us a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button, and then you will never miss a list. And I've got more list episodes for you right here. Pick one, anyone.